I was under a truck that afternoon, the sun beating down on the back of my neck like it was mad at me for being broke. My name's Jace. I'm a mechanic. Or will I try to be? I run this busted old garage at the edge of town. Monroe Auto. Peeling sign. Half-dead tools. And a vending machine that owes me more snacks than I can count. Business had been slow for months. Bills piling up. Lights threatening to go out any day now. I'd skipped breakfast again that morning, just so my little sister could have lunch. I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. That's just where I was. Tired. Broke. Wondering if it was all even worth it anymore. Then I heard it. This car, a black sedan, crawled up the road like it was dying. The engine sputtered. Steam was pouring from under the hood, and the front tire was flatter than my bank account. I didn't think. I dropped the wrench, wiped my hands, and walked straight toward it. That's when I saw her. She stepped out looking completely out of place. Designer clothes, sunglasses that cost more than my entire toolbox. Blonde hair tied up, sweat beading on her forehead. She looked around like she'd landed on another planet. Need help? I asked. She looked at me like I'd just offered her a glass of water in the middle of a desert. Do I look like I can fix that? I laughed. No offense, but you look like someone who's never even seen a spare tire. She sighed hard, reached in her purse, then froze. I don't have my wallet, she muttered. No cash. My phone's dead. And I have nothing. She was embarrassed. I could tell. The kind of embarrassment that's louder in your chest than in your words. You know what I mean? I shrugged and grabbed my tools. You don't need cash to be stranded, I said. I've been there. You'll fix it? For free. Yeah. She stared at me for way too long. What? And I'll be honest with you. I didn't even have a good answer. I just told her. Because once, when I had nothing, someone helped me. And I never forgot. She was quiet after that. I fixed her radiator, slapped on a spare tire, gave her water, and told her to stay cool while I worked. She kept asking how she could repay me, but I kept saying the same thing. Don't worry about it. Then just before she left, she rolled down her window, looked me in the eye, and said, You have no idea who I am, but you will. I figured she was just being polite, maybe a little dramatic. But then, 2 hours later, I hear engines. Not just one. 5. 5 black Rolls Royces come gliding down my street like something out of a dream. They pull up right in front of my garage. Clean, polished, quiet, except for the rumble of all that luxury power underneath. I stood there frozen, broom in my hand like an idiot. One of the back doors opened, and out stepped her. But she didn't look the same. She wasn't flustered or sweaty. She looked like she belonged on a magazine cover. Her hair was perfect. Her heels were sharp. Her voice, powerful. She looked at me and said, Mr. Monroe, I believe we have some unfinished business. I swallowed. What is going on? She took off her sunglasses and smiled, but not like before. This smile had weight. My name is Catherine Sterling, she said, CEO of Sterling Global. Net worth, $3.8 billion. I forgot how to breathe. You helped me, she said, when I was just another stranger. Now I'm here to return the favor and change your life forever. And that, my friend, is how everything changed. So yeah, there I was, standing in front of my garage with my mouth halfway open, 5 Rolls Royces lined up like a royal convoy, and Catherine Sterling, a literal billionaire, standing there looking at me like I was someone important. For a second, I thought maybe I'd hit my head, or fallen asleep under the truck, and was dreaming. But no, this was real. Too real. I looked around. My neighbors were peeking through curtains. A couple of kids on bikes stopped and stared. One guy even took out his phone and started recording like it was some kind of movie premiere. And in the middle of all that, she walked up to me and said, Do you have 5 minutes? I stammered. Oh, why, yeah. Sure. I guess. Good, she smiled. Because I'm about to make you an offer that might scare you. Or save you. I didn't know what that meant. But she stepped aside, motioned toward the rolls behind her, and said, Get in. Now listen, I'd grown up with enough caution in my blood not to just jump into random expensive cars, but something about the way she said it, calm, confident, like she was used to people saying yes. I couldn't say no. I climbed in. Inside was a whole other world. Leather seats, softer than anything I'd ever sat on. Cold water already waiting in the cup holder. AC that didn't smell like gasoline. The driver didn't speak, just drove. She turned to me. Why did you help me? She asked again. I sighed. I already told you. Someone helped me once when I was down. I just paid it forward. You could have ignored me, charged me, mocked me for not having money. I'm not built that way. She looked out the window, then back at me. Do you know what I see in you, Jace? No idea. Grit, heart, character, things money can't buy. I chuckled. Well, I'm rich in character then. She smiled. You're about to be rich in more than that. I blinked. Come again. That's when she handed me a file. Black cover. My name on the tab. Inside, paperwork, contracts, legal docs, a business license application with my name on it. Then a check. An actual, physical check. $500,000, she said. I want you to open your own garage. A proper one. With equipment. Staff. A waiting room with a working vending machine. I stared at the paper like it was going to catch fire. Why are you doing this? I asked. This is crazy. She leaned forward, eyes steady. Because people like you don't get the spotlight. But you should. Because the world chews up honest men and forgets their names. Because you helped me without knowing who I was, without expecting anything back. And because I have the power to help people like you. And I refuse to waste it. I didn't cry. Not yet. But something cracked open in my chest right then. You know that feeling when someone sees you, not just notices you, but really sees who you are? Yeah, that. She reached in her purse and pulled out a small metal key. This, she said, is for the building I just bought 2 blocks from here. It's yours now. Fully paid. Renovation starts tomorrow. If you want to dream, Jace, I'm giving you the door. All you have to do is walk through it. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. Why me? I whispered. She smiled. Because the world needs more mechanics like you, and fewer billionaires like me. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the floor of my tiny living room, cracked tiles, dim light, half-eaten takeout on the counter, just staring at that check. $500,000. With my name on it. My hands trembled every time I looked at it. It didn't feel real. I kept asking myself the same question. What's the catch? But there wasn't one. Catherine Sterling had disappeared just as fast as she came. But her assistant called that same evening. Said renovations would start the next morning. Said I'd have full ownership. Said it was all real. And just like that, everything changed. But not in the way I expected. Because the minute people heard, they started changing too. First, it was Denny, the landlord who hadn't returned my calls in weeks. He showed up at my door the next morning with a big smile, holding a pie he obviously didn't bake. Hey, Jace, my man. Heard the news, he said, all cheerful. Wanted to say congrats. Also, I've been thinking we can forget about that late rent. Water under the bridge, huh? Then it was Corey, the guy from the tire shop down the block who used to laugh every time I ran out of stock and lost customers to him. Now he wanted to partner up. You and me, bro. Let's dominate this town. I got connections, you got the money. We can merge, open a franchise. I stopped him right there. You said I'd go out of business before I turned 30. He blinked. That was just jokes, man. You know how we are. Friendly competition. Yeah, right. But the worst one, the one that cut deepest, that was Cameron. We used to be friends. Tight once. He'd left town last year to chase some big opportunity out west. Never looked back. Never answered my messages when I needed help. Not even when I was dead broke and desperate for a loan. Now he was in my inbox. Bro, heard you leveled up. So proud, man. Remember that dream we had back in high school? About opening a real garage together? Let's make it happen. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I deleted it. Because here's the thing. When you have nothing, no one cares if you're good, or kind, or loyal. But the moment you have something, suddenly everyone remembers your name. Everyone starts pretending they always believed in you. Everyone wants a piece of what you bled for. I wasn't angry. Not yet. But something cold started to form in my chest that week. Not bitterness, just clarity. The people who mattered, they were the ones who stood by me when I had oil on my hands and empty pockets. Not the ones showing up now, with smiles too wide and hands too eager. And while the new garage was rising, brand new floor, glass walls, polished counters, I kept my distance. I watched, I listened, and I remembered. Because if this blessing was real, I wasn't going to waste it proving myself to people who only showed up for the glow up. I was going to use it to honor the struggle that made me. You'd think when something good finally happens, the world would let you breathe. But it didn't. Not even a week after the new garage opened, Monroe Performance and Auto Care, glowing like a damn lighthouse at the edge of town, the threat started. It began with a letter. A thick envelope slid under my garage door late at night. No stamp, no return address. Just my name, Jace Monroe, scribbled in black marker. Inside, a cease and desist. Accusations of trademark infringement. Claims that Monroe Auto was intellectual property of a long-dormant LLC owned by, guess who? Corey, the same guy from the tire shop who wanted to partner up. He was trying to scare me, trying to tie me up in court, slow me down, make me bleed until I gave up. I called him. Cut the crap, Corey, I said, keeping my voice even. He didn't even flinch. It's business, man. You should have looped me in when you had the chance. You ignored me for 3 years. You're hot now. Bro, money's in your hands. I'm just trying to make sure you don't blow it. Let's talk terms. I hung up, but I wasn't stupid. I'd seen this town chew up dreamers before. I wasn't about to let it happen to me. Not after all this. Not after everything I'd survived. So I called Catherine's office. Not because I wanted her to fix it for me. No, I just wanted to know what my options were. An hour later, I got a call back. But it wasn't her assistant this time. It was her. Jace, she said, calm and direct. You're learning something now that took me 10 years to understand. When you start to win, some people don't want a seat at your table. They want to flip it over. I swallowed hard. You're stronger than you know, she continued. But just in case you need a reminder, I've already forwarded the file to my legal team. You'll get a call tomorrow. Don't back down. And she meant it. Within 48 hours, her legal team dismantled Corey's fake LLC claim, exposed it as fraudulent. They didn't just protect me. They buried him in so much legal weight, he couldn't afford to buy lunch. But something shifted in me after that. I stopped being passive. I stopped doubting whether I deserved any of this. And I started showing up with my shoulders squared, because I'd fought too damn hard to get here. I hired 2 local mechanics, guys who were good, but overlooked just like I had been. I upgraded the equipment, opened up free service days every Sunday for single moms and elderly customers. No charge, no judgment. I didn't forget where I came from, but I also wasn't letting anyone drag me back there. People respected me now, even the ones who used to spit when they said my name. But that didn't mean the tests were over, because the next one, it hit me harder than anything before. And it didn't come from a stranger. It came from someone I loved. You know, I thought I was ready. I thought I'd seen enough of people's masks slipping. Fake friends, jealous rivals, opportunists crawling out of the woodwork. I'd been burned, sure. But I was standing tall now. Stronger. Wiser. I wasn't ready for this one, though. Not for Macy. My sister. The one I raised after Mom passed. The one I used to carry on my back when her shoes had holes. The one I starved for, fought for, bled for. She was the reason I never gave up. She was the reason I kept swinging wrenches in a freezing garage when everything else told me to quit. So when I made it, when I got the building, the team, the funding, of course I brought her in. Of course I gave her the back office, the clean desk, the part-time job that turned into a full-time salary. I trusted her with everything. And that's what hurt the most. It started with little things. Inventory off. Orders missing. Parts double charged. I thought it was glitches. New systems. Growing pains. Until the bank called. Mr. Monroe, there's been some unusual activity on your business account. Tens of thousands. Gone. Some filtered into another account. A local one. Registered as someone named M. Monroe. At first I didn't believe it. Couldn't. I stormed into the back office, printouts in hand. Macy, I said, tell me this isn't what it looks like. She didn't even try to deny it. She just stared at me, eyes full of guilt and something colder. Something I'd never seen in her before. I'm sorry, she whispered. What? My voice cracked. Why would you take from me? Lie to me. Her jaw clenched, and then the truth spilled out, sharp, angry, bitter. Because I was there when you were nothing. And the moment that woman showed up, you forgot who stood by you. You handed me a desk and called it a gift. While you took the spotlight, the praise, the glory. I stood there in shock. My hands were shaking. You think this came easy? I said. You think I didn't want to share more? I was building this for us, Macy. But I needed time. I needed to get it right. And you took a knife to it. Her face broke. But it was too late. I walked out that night. Sat alone in the middle of the shop, lights off, breathing through the kind of pain that doesn't leave bruises, just scars. I didn't press charges, but I made her leave. And I never looked at her the same again. Not because of the money, because of the betrayal. But here's what I learned. Not every betrayal is meant to destroy you. Some show you exactly who you are and what you're willing to rise above. I rebuilt. Again. Slower this time. More careful. I learned how to lead. How to protect what I loved without letting it destroy me. And a year later, I stood on the grand opening stage of our second location. Cameras flashing. Customers cheering. Catherine standing to the side with that proud smirk she always wore when I proved her right. I looked into the crowd, and I saw Macy there. She didn't come up, didn't wave, but she smiled, and I nodded back. Because sometimes forgiveness isn't about fixing what broke. It's about letting it go, so it can't break you anymore. This isn't just a story about a rich woman and a poor mechanic. It's about what happens when kindness meets power, and the kind of man you become when you refuse to break, even when the people closest to you do.